If you ever wondered whether Donald Trump is for real or not, there are no doubts now. And I can tell you unequivocally, Donald Trump is the real deal, a patriot, battling the globalist and putting his life, his name, his family, his treasure, his blood, sweat, and tears on the line. Donald Trump's going with his gut. He fired his chief strategist today. And I am not going to sit here and help the enemy, help the globalist, and basically sit around and brag about how influential Infowars.com is. People can see that for themselves. It's not a pleasurable feeling, I will tell you. It is a feeling of extreme responsibility. And can you imagine the responsibility that Donald Trump feels? Trump has come out and said, we are going to punch through the media. He is making it a referendum on the globalist run, deceptive dinosaur media. He is coming out and saying, look, Mitt Romney got 8 million more votes, or there was 8 million more votes in that election than there was previously in 2008, but he lost. And he got less votes total than McCain. No strategist believes that. There was incredible fraud. Obama was super unpopular then. That's why Hillary's so confident. And they've had Google delist him as a presidential candidate, Donald J. Trump. They've had Twitter and Facebook restrict and ban folks exposing what's happening and promoting their right to a First Amendment and their right to support Donald Trump. We've seen the debates rigged. We've seen the time of the debates rigged. We've seen the Republicans try to come out and say, we are allowed to just ignore the popular vote and just give it to whoever we want. We might even put Paul Ryan in at the convention. But patriots, conservatives, paleo-conservatives, libertarians, Christians said, no, we're not buying this. And they had to back off. That didn't happen with Bernie Sanders and the Democrats when they stole 10 states. He was the winner. He won California. But they met the day before. Paul Watson's doing an article on this right now. They met the day before at a rich donor's house with the superdelegates and decided what the numbers would be and told the Associated Press who was there, who then put out the numbers as everyone watches at night at home with a beer in their hand at 9, 10 o'clock. Oh, Hillary's the winner projected with 90-something% of precincts reporting. And then they have the little numbers pre-agreed with the Associated Press that releases the election numbers. Just over the top, Armageddon-level fraud to our republic. And then they even have a New York Daily News article about it, other articles admitting it happened. And then I talk to people on the street, and they go, yeah, I'm not voting for Hillary. I'm a Democrat. I've been canvassing on the streets. I'm going to vote for the Green Party or Gary Johnson. No, vote for Trump. And then I talked to them about, you know, Sanders really won. And they go, oh, I heard there was some election fraud. And I said, no. The delegates just stood down and the superdelegates just announced numbers. And they go, really? I'd like to see a news article on that. I was in a store today showing a lady on my phone the articles. People know there was fraud. They don't really know exactly what happened. They're low information voters, Democrats especially. Let's face it. We've got to get this information out to them. Mark Dice went out again, and 9 out of 10 Californians, we're not cherry picking here. Our correspondent, Mark Dice, markdice.com, he went out and told Democrats or people just on the street that Trump is going to ban tampons. And they are just horrified. And, of course, some had actually heard this was happening. And that's just how horrible Trump is. You could tell them that Trump is a Martian that wants to eat your baby's brain, they'd believe it. These are dangerous people. And Trump is betting that there are enough people who are halfway sane and who do want their jobs back and who do want the globalists to take their foot off our neck. Some are saying, and we war gamed this over the weekend, some are saying, oh my gosh, if you come out and say Hillary stole the primary and Hillary's an illegitimate nominee, and if you put that out to voters, they're going to get discouraged and not go vote for Trump, thinking there's going to be fraud. And that's how the media is spinning it, with the headlines like, Trump prepares to lose election. And, oh, he's a sore loser. Or, oh, he sees she's come back in the polls to neck and neck when he was 7-10 points ahead a week ago. And it's still ahead in most real polls. They've just put out fake polls, they admit are fake, with new algorithms to show him in a dead heat. So he comes out and points this out. That's the only way to battle it. He did this 6 months ago. He did this 3 months ago when they were still trying to steal the election from him in the primary. He didn't put up with it like Sanders did. He called it as a fraud. The media said he was a sore loser. In fact, when you read this Gawker article, will you guys print me that Gawker article? It's so surreal because they quote the facts about when Trump was winning the states, but the superdelegates weren't going for him, he came out like a sore loser and complained. You see, he's supposed to just sit there and let them steal it. But he didn't sit there, so they failed. And they think they're going to have another stolen general election in front of everybody at high noon, and we're just going to sit here and go along with it. We're not. I'm going to fight it. Trump's going to fight it. You're going to fight it. And we're not going to recognize Queen Hillary if there's evidence of fraud. And guess what there is? She stole the nomination. If they would have coronated Paul Ryan as they were floating to see if you were that stupid to install him with no delegates, or Ted Cruz, I would have been against him because it would have certified fraudulent elections and an end to the republic and made the parties openly dictators as they already are operating in the shadows. I would say the whole election's thrown out. Hillary has to be thrown out. Paul Ryan has to be thrown out. We have to set up new elections, just like they do when it's found in other countries that elections are fraudulent. This is what they do. And they're going to act like we're doing something weird and unorthodox and never heard of. They have snap elections in Israel. They have them in England. They have them all over the place when there is a loss of confidence. They have them in Canada. If Hillary steals the nomination and then she openly is engaged in chicanery and things don't add up with Trump, you have to say it must be thrown out. And that's what Trump's preparing to do. He is pure Americana. And if he's successful, he will be the second coming of George Washington. And let me tell you, that man's in danger. Everybody should be praying for him. And quite frankly, you should be praying for us because we are now engaging the globalists at the highest levels of the arena. We've been doing that for a long time, but the enemy knows that, and they are not as arrogant as they used to be. So this is a war. Donald Trump's the figurehead, the standard, to expose the enemy media, to expose the collaborator media, to expose the foreign deep state, multinationals, Hillary Clinton, the communist Chinese spy, the spy that sold us out to Russia. What nerve they have saying that Donald Trump is an agent of Russia. He just wants to de-escalate tensions, which is what you're supposed to do. We are living in an unprecedented time. I came on Sunday. I came on Saturday. I put out the emergency report, the emergency messages of Donald Trump. I said, they stole it from Sanders, as you know. They tried to steal it from you. You stood up and said, no, you had a landslide, so they couldn't defeat you. Trump comes out and says, I had a landslide, so they couldn't steal it from me, but they're going to try, just like they did with Sanders. Now, we're going to go ahead and play some of these rigged clips. Here he is in Ohio. Then next he's in Pennsylvania. Here it is.
We got almost 14 million votes. Think of that. More than anybody in the history of Republican primaries. That includes some great people like Ronald Reagan, Dwight D. Eisenhower, who won the Second World War, right? He did win the Second World War. He got elected because he won the Second World War. I got more votes than him. That's good, right? And remember this, I had 17 people. I wasn't running against 2 people. I had 17 people. Hillary Clinton, I got a similar number to Hillary Clinton, and she had Bernie, and she had a hard time putting Bernie away. And Bernie, poor Bernie, he looked so upset. You know what? He made a mistake. He shouldn't have made a deal. Sometimes he lost. First of all, it was rigged. And I'm afraid the election's going to be rigged, I have to be honest. Because I think my side was rigged. If I didn't win by massive landslides, I mean, think of what we won in New York and Indiana, California, 78%. That's with other people in the race.
And you're going to hear Donald Trump more, a little bird told me, with orange hair. You're going to be hearing a lot more about this, ladies and gentlemen, because Donald Trump's not going to let you be robbed, myself be robbed, or him be robbed, or his family. And crooked Hillary thinks they're going to pull what they did on Mitt Romney. Lady, isn't going to happen. And that's why her campaign head, her chief strategist, said, this is dangerous what Trump's doing. You're right, it is dangerous, isn't it? Actually standing up to you. Actually calling you for what you are and saying, we're not backing down. We're not going quietly into the night. And, oh, guess what? Everywhere he goes, they'll be in giant stadiums that are certified for 5,000. We went and looked it up, another 10,000. And they let 1,000 in and say, sorry, nobody else. And this is a guy that owns buildings, owns stadiums. He looks around and he goes, they're doing this on purpose. And they go, oh. Hillary comes in the same day and the mayor's there. She has a tiny crowd and she thanks the mayor. These are Democrat cesspool cities. Nice cities, but run by Democrat cess. Folks don't know what cess is. That's floating, rotting detritus. It's a sewage sludge. So let's go to the next rigged clip. Here he is now in Pennsylvania calling Clinton El Diablo.
Bernie Sanders people all walked out. You had this mass exit. Nobody showed it. And then when they showed Bernie, very angry, they're talking about Bernie because he made a bad deal. He should have not made a deal. He would have gone down and done something really important. Once he made that deal, and believe me, he has buyer's remorse. You know, this guy has buyer's remorse. He looked at that, and he was so angry when they were talking about him, and his people are angry at him, and they should be. If he would have just not done anything, just go home, go to sleep, relax, he would have been a hero. But he made a deal with the devil. She's the devil. He made a deal with the devil. It's true.
Now, I played this at the very start of the broadcast, but I want to play this full clip here, and this is history. You want a leader. You want someone to stand against the globalist. He is electronically, but also physically, marching against the fourth estate, the captured, sold-out media that told you Obamacare was free and that there were no death panels when the bill said it would double and triple prices within 3 years, that the IRS would fine you up to $5,000 a person for not having it, and that it was written by foreign insurance companies to massively increase their profits. And they sat there and told you that I was a racist conspiracy theorist that didn't like black people on MSNBC because I didn't like Obamacare. Remember that clip? Alex Jones is deeply racist. He doesn't like Obamacare because Barack Obama's black. No, it was because I read the bill. Then we got Gruber to say, we're lucky the American people are so stupid and have short attention spans because this doubles and triples prices, and I was hired on how to spin it so we could deceive them, and Obama was very proud of me that I was the best liar. Those are quotes. Then he said that was an accident, I didn't mean it. Then they found more than 10 videos of him saying the same thing, some of them on C-SPAN. What does that tell you about their mindset? They go on C-SPAN with a bunch of other professors and statisticians and talk about how to deceive the people, and everyone sits there smiling and rubbing their hands together. This is what they've created. You go to college now and get a PhD on learning how to scam and rob everyone. Jonathan Gruber. And they sit around like the Hillary delegate going, oh, she told me we're going to get the guns. We just have to act like we don't want them and that we just want reasonable restrictions. But as soon as she gets in, we're going to ban everything. They released the video within a day. People are running up to her on the street. She's running from them. This is who they are. They just sit around. I was working out with Pat Riley this morning, and he said walking his dog yesterday by his house in Austin, East Austin, he saw a full-grown 50-year-old man with a Pokemon backpack on, like a turtle backpack, a giant turtle shell, playing Pokemon, say Pokemon on purpose, Pocket Monsters, which turns you into a Google mapping system. It's actually AI. You're there mapping. I mean, they admit that, but it doesn't matter. Just make a joke about it. It's like a TV watching you. And he saw him going along, and Pat said, boy, that's who I'm competing against. It's this whole world of, like, be a baby. Don't ever grow up. Just suck your thumb. They're not putting you into this position because they plan on letting you live out your life as a thumb-sucking 50-year-old male that thinks he's a 5-year-old, or a 20-year-old woman who thinks she's a baby, and then sicko men are into her. This is what happens right before a culture collapses. And Donald Trump is just a archetypal thrashing death throes as we try to climb out of the molten lava and like Darth Vader and survive. I don't know if we will, but I want to salute Donald Trump for incredible courage. And I want to say this. I want to pray for Donald Trump. In fact, I was praying for him this morning. I was praying for this country. I was praying for my family on my knees, but it was so spiritual and real this morning that I intended to do it on air, but I don't feel it right now. I feel sincerity, but not like I felt this morning, total connection. But I'm going to, as soon as it hits me today, and I think it will, I'm going to say a prayer on air. It might be just in the middle of an interview. I don't know. But, man, I tell you, just thank God that I'm not one of these deceived people. Thank God I don't want to be part of the murder of innocents. Thank God I don't want to be part of the human-animal splicing chimera programs. Thank God I'm aware of what's going on and not part of the enemy's camp. Oh, that's really what matters here, is our souls and our integrity and who we are. Don't be discouraged if they steal it from Trump. He's not going to go along with it. This is going to be a great awakening. And he said, the New York Times, you're done. CNN, you're done. They're already bankrupt. They're already propped up by mega banks that get unlimited trillions from the public. And people ask, well, then why are they still there? They have to have the facade going so that people don't realize that it's a tiny minority that even support this New World Order. I can't find Hillary supporters unless I go to the richest area of Austin and then I see her signs. They don't exist. Leanne couldn't find anyone on the streets of L.A. who was for Hillary. They were all for Sanders or Trump, the majority for Sanders. She went and did an exit poll. 8 out of 10 coming out said they voted for Sanders, but Sanders lost. And then we have them admitting they met the night before with the AP, with the super PAC people and the super delegates, and decided what the numbers would be and what Sanders would get and what Hillary would get, not what the... And we have the super delegate from California saying months before in New Hampshire, we'll decide what Sanders gets and we'll decide what Hillary gets on a power trip, arrogantly admitting it, just like Priebus on TV saying we don't care about the votes. So we're going to put together the informational videos that have all these people talking and bragging, and then cut to Trump saying they're going to rig it, and then cut to the media, we're taping it today, making fun of Trump saying it's rigged. We're going to show you them admitting it's rigged. Then we're going to show Trump saying it's rigged. And then we're going to show them saying he's crazy. And I'll tell you, quite frankly, it's scary to see other media outlets and other groups don't even know how to fight this. We do. I wish everybody else knew how to fight it, because I don't like being the one right up front, tip of the spear, with the White House looking right down at me, going, we need to shut this guy up. We need your prayers. You better believe it, just as much as Donald Trump does. Let's go out with him declaring war on the enemy. Donald Trump, we salute you. Here it is.
The biggest problem we have is we have a very dishonest media. We have a media that is so dishonest that no matter what, makes no difference. But these are among the most dishonest people you'll ever meet. These people, You know, I've had days where I said, boy, this was a great day. I look forward to seeing it tonight or tomorrow, and it's brutal. I say, what happened? But we're going to punch through the media. We have to. The New York Times is totally dishonest, totally dishonest. Washington Post, been a little bit better lately, but not good. By the way, New York Times, which is failing, really failing badly, which is, I call it the failing New York Times. Every story they write is a hit job. I could do the greatest thing in the history of the world. I could come up with a cure for the most horrible disease in the world. And they'd give me a front page, horrible, horrible story. The New York Times is very dishonest, but it'll be out of business soon, I hope. It'll be out of business soon. It will. Really dishonest reporters. Not all of them, but most of them. And CNN, boy, to CNN, it's like all Trump all the time. All Trump all the time. You walk out of an interview, you said, that was a good interview, and then you get killed for the rest of the weekend. I tell you, they are so biased toward crooked Hillary. You know, they call it CNN, Clinton News Network, okay? CNN, Clinton News Network. Totally dishonest.
There's more. It's on Infowars.com.
Talk show host is Alex Jones. He's a conspiracy theorist.
Radio talk show host Alex Jones.
Alex Jones.
Jones is the wildly popular conspiracy theorist.
Radio talk show host and conspiracy theorist Alex Jones.
Deeply, I think, racist.
I just got called racist by MSNBC.
I don't want that man to have a gun.
1776 will commence again if you try to take our firearms.
The Alex Jones Show. Watch the free stream live at Infowars.com/show.
We have ended the big mega sale, the biggest in our history. Now, we have kept 3 items, though, this week. That's Brain Force, while supplies last, the amazing nootropic, for $17.76, normally $29. Leading competitors that have similar formulas are $60 to $70 to $80. So we're already a great deal at that price. It has some ingredients that are controlled or prescription in Europe. That's how powerful it is. Read about it for yourself at InfoWarsLife.com. That's 40% off. DNA Force, our flagship product. It's a big deal to offer 30% off on that. We're extending that. And then Vitamin Mineral Fusion. All the vitamins, all the minerals, the amino acids, the cofactors to help upload it. Great tasting fruit punch. Organically flavored. There's nothing else out there it's like it. It's amazing. It's plant-derived minerals. InfoWarsLife.com. That's 30% off. But I'm going to go further. Boom, here it is. Normally you sign up for auto ship, you get 10% off. You still get that on top of it. I'm doing free shipping on everything. Whether it's one Hillary for prison shirt or a Bill Clinton rape shirt or whatever it is, whatever informational warfare weapon you want to help spread the word and meet like-minded people, free shipping store-wide. Free shipping store-wide. Again, ladies and gentlemen, you can get 40% off on Brain Force. You can get 30% off on DNA Force. I'm not going to sit here and belabor this. People should really go read and see the hundreds of studies that are there breaking down just what BioPQQ does and why this is such an amazing nutraceutical and why it's so important that folks take it daily, because the compounds in this are just amazing. I mean, you just know they're from God. But I'm not going to get into the science. Go to InfoWarsLife.com. Go there to the page for yourself, and you can check it all out at InfoWarsLife.com. InfoWarsStore.com is the umbrella site, and your purchases make it possible, everything we do here. So I want to thank you all for your support, your prayers, and so much more.
We're not even able to post probably half of the reviews that come in. And the reason why is because if anyone mentions a disease or they got better from a disease, the third-party review sites that we subcontract out to that monitor these reviews, if there's any mention of a disease or anything in there, it can't go up online because of the regulations with the FDA. So please feel free to call in as much as you want. We love hearing about your stories. And this is just DNA Force, but You know, the best thing that I love to do and the best thing I tell people to do is just go online, InfoWarsLife.com, and just read all the reviews.